Just a few kilometres off the N7 Naas Road is Kyrie Farm in County Kildare. A group of volunteers have arrived to help with the many tasks going on here today. Kyrie Farm is a charity founded by John and Vicky McKeown. They are the parents of Kieran, who died by suicide at the age of 18 in 2013. Using Gould Farm in the US as a blueprint to establish a therapeutic farm in Kildare, Kyrie Farm will exist to create a unique healing environment too.
Here you can see Gould Farm, and I first found Gould Farm in 2014, and I visited just for one night. But even in those 2 days, that one evening, you could see the core ingredients that make the therapeutic farm work. It's probably one of the kindest places in the world, where people are just held. So the people who are suffering are truly being held by those who are caring for them.
People who have been in a psychiatric hospital, who have serious mental health challenges, are often poorly served by the services once they leave hospital. Kyrie Farm is going to be a step-down facility for those who are not well enough to go home.
So what you're trying to create is a really safe space for people with mental health challenges. And in a safe space, then hopefully you're creating an opportunity for people to be able to express themselves. And in many ways, they say, you know, expression is the opposite of depression. So this ability to speak and to share our story and to share their trauma and to somehow find peace with whatever's brought them to this point in their lives, to find peace and to find a way on from here, that's really the essence of what Kyrie Farm is about.
A €2 million donation allowed the charity to buy 57 acres of land here in County Kildare and to do all the design work needed for the project. Full planning permission has been granted for Kyrie Farm to be developed. The appeal is now on to raise €30 million to get it up and running. Reddy's architects have designed the buildings, which will be situated in the marked out areas which we can see from the air. This project of love and intention is born out of the loss of John and Vicky's wonderful eldest son, Kieran.
So I had 3 boys, Kieran, Michael and Rory. And Kieran, we sadly lost in 2013. He was 18 years old to suicide. He'd been suffering a lot with his mental health, really since he started his secondary school at the age 12. It took quite a few years to recover. We never fully recover, but it took a while for us to get back on track with our lives. And then John, my husband, he took a break from work and went and did a psychology conversion course in the hope of starting up a therapeutic farm. He was fortunate to visit one in about 2014, and he saw the wonderful care that they give there. It's Gould Farm, it's in Massachusetts, and we visited it. We were lucky to visit it this year. It helps people with all sorts of mental health challenges in a therapeutic manner. And really, Kieran got the greatest care that he could get from John O'God's when he was in their care, and he had 2 admittances there. But he never fully recovered. He was tormented, bless him, and we tried everything. Everybody around him tried everything. There was no stone left unturned. And as a result of that, and seeing how there's not really the resources for people, we'd love to have started a mental health place, a therapeutic farm for teenagers, really, because that's where Kieran could have benefited. But we decided instead to start it with adults and learn from that, with the hope that then we can go on and do one for teenagers.
in a way, what Kyrie Farm will be is a lighthouse and a beacon of what recovery in mental health should be about. There is a huge gap between psychiatric care, acute care, and care in the community, which is very under-resourced anyway. There's this huge gap, and there is nothing filling that gap. So after the feasibility study, I then set about getting a board. And I wanted this to be led by a clinical psychologist because I wanted a biopsychosocial approach, a broader approach to mental health beyond the biomedical approach, which is very pharmacology oriented. We wanted it to be led and inclusive of the social aspects and professional therapy, respecting that medication is needed, but also knowing that solutions to mental health issues are way broader than just medication. It's people understanding what has led them to this position and giving them the tools to go beyond it.
Dr. Owen Gallivan is a senior clinical psychologist with the HSE Adult Mental Health Services.
I've been involved in the Kyrie Farm project for about 5 years now. I'm the clinical lead and in line to be the clinical director when we get open. So the full range of mental health care professionals will be working at Kyrie Farm, psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, therapists, etc., to support people on their recovery journey. One of the things that's true about mental health recovery is that there's no one version that fits everybody. So we've included as many possible parts of the healing picture, if you want, that can help people on their journey. For some people, it might be being in the outdoors. For others, it might be participating in a kitchen crew. For someone else, it might be attending therapy. And there's a whole range of ways that people find their way back to life. So we're taking a very broad approach to that and being highly inclusive of all of those ingredients. People will recover better if they're given this kind of help. So we're really hoping that through a variety of avenues, whether it's the government or philanthropy, that we raise the money to build and get ourselves up and running as soon as we can.
Since the charity bought the land in Kildare, a large number of volunteers have been helping Kyrie Farm's horticulturist Nathan Jackson to grow a variety of vegetables which are then sold in the local area through a veg bag system. Here today is Agnes Higgins, Professor in Mental Health, School of Nursing and Midwifery in Trinity College, Dublin. She is on the board of directors of Kyrie Farm.
I kind of started, I've been over 40 years working in the area of mental health, and in that time I've had numerous roles, practice and education and research. And I suppose really seeing the need for a farm like this. We have wonderful WHO policy that's talking about the need for recovery-orientated, rights-based, person-centred community service. And our own Sharing the Vision policy is equally eloquent in its articulation for a need for that. And look, having a policy is lovely, but policies won't change lives. We need money to invest in a farm like this for action, and it's that will make an impact. It's the action of having the farm going and having people come and stay and work with, the multidisciplinary team. So this is not kind of an alternative to hospital. We will still need acute mental health services, but this is a community-orientated service that is the step down to give people that support that people need to get them on the road and on their journey to recovery.
Ciara Glynn is on the Lived Experience Committee at Kyrie Farm.
I have my own experience of mental health and recovery, and over the past few decades, people have been advocating and campaigning for their voice to be involved in service delivery, development and design. So Kyrie Farm really embodies that ethos where we have a lived experience committee, and also when we're fully operational, we will have peer support workers who have their own experience of mental health and recovery, and they'll be working on the farm. I even feel myself, you know, I'm in a really good, stable place with my journey. Like, I'm living a fulfilling life, but I do come down and volunteer the odd time on the farm, and even at the end of the day, you just feel so good from that connection, like connection to nature, connection to other people. I speak openly about my mental health when I'm here. Often family members or people themselves will chat to me while we're weeding, or today we were like planting onions and stuff, you know, so there's always conversation, open conversation about mental health, which is just really what the ethos of the farm is and will hopefully continue to be.
I'm Katrina O'Toole. I'm Associate Professor in Maynooth University, and I'm leading a research team with Maynooth University that, well, I suppose we've put together a framework of research, multi-tiered research programme that will support Kyrie Farm with the service design initially, implementation once Kyrie Farm is open to guests, and then evaluation of Kyrie Farm. So we're really excited, I suppose, to be part of a research project that is looking at, I suppose, different models, service models of mental health care. This is the direction, I think, that mental health services need to go: more person-centred, more recovery-oriented, trauma-informed and rights-based.
If you were to build a psychiatric hospital for 40 people in a city today, that's going to cost somewhere between 50 and 60 million. Kyrie Farm is going to cost 30 million. So it's 50% of the capital cost of a psychiatric hospital of an equivalent size. But what we need is more different healing spaces. We need 30 million to build the facilities. And to get that 30 million, we need philanthropy, we need government funding, and we need just funding from anybody who wants to see a transformation in mental health in Ireland. This would be a facility serving 40 people and their families 2 or 3 times over a year. So there's many, many families, many communities will be helped. And to have a full implementation of sharing the vision up and working and ready, it's got to make sense.
And for more information about Kyrie Farm, go to the website. And if you've been affected by any of the issues in the report, the RTE support pages on the screen now are there to help. After the break, we meet a young man who's published his first book.